Hello everybody, today we are going to start with the topic structure and types of neurons. In the previous lesson we have already studied that neuron is a structural and functional unit of nervous system, and as far as nervous system is concerned, nervous system is that part of the body which help in coordinating all activities of the organs which are present in the organism body. And because of this organization, or because of this coordination and integration of all functions, the organism can act as a single unit. Most important function of nervous system is that it helps us in adjusting with the changing environment, and this happens through receiving the stimulus and forming the responses. Nervous system, it is made up of a special kind of cell which is called as neuron. So what is neuron? Neuron is that special kind of cell with which nervous system is made, and neuron is called as the structural and functional unit of nervous system. By saying so, we mean that all the nervous system, it is made up of unit which is called as neuron. Structure unit means that all the structure of nervous system is made up of this unit. And by saying that neuron is the functional unit, we mean that all the functions of nervous system, they are being done by the neuron. So that means neural system, it is performing all the functions, and these functions, they are being performed actually by the neuron. Now for this, the neuron may be specially adapted, and there may be certain structural differences within the neuron category itself. So we will be studying in this part that how neuron can get adapted and what different functions it can perform. So let us start with the lesson. So first of all, let us get familiar with the structure of the neuron. This figure is showing the structure of neuron. In this figure you can see certain structures, like you can see cyton, that is the star shaped part which is present in the in this structure. So this structure which is forming the star shaped cell, that is called as the cyton, and this long thread like structure which is arising from the star shaped cell, that is called as axon. And at the end you will see that there is some special type of structure present which are forming bulb like structures. So these are called as the synaptic knobs, and this part is called as the axon terminal. At the end of the cyton you can see the thread like structures. These thread like structures, they are called as dendrites. So in other words, the main parts of the neuron, they can be named as that it is having cyton, which is the star shaped cell. It is having long thread like structure which is called as axon. Axon ends in axon terminal, and from the sides of the cyton we see small thread like structures arising which are called as dendrites. So in other words, we can say that neuron can be divided into three main parts or four main parts, because sometimes we consider axon and axon terminal together. So that way it will be making three parts, or we can say that it is having four parts, that is cyton, which is the star shaped cell, a long thread like structure arising from cyton, that is called as axon, and axon ends in the terminal which is forming the synaptic knob, that is called as the axon terminal. Not only one long thread, there are certain other thread like structures arising from the sides of the cyton. These are called as the dendrites. With the help of dendrites, axon, it will be forming connection with other neurons, and with the help of axon terminal, which will be ending into some gland or maybe some sensory organ. So with the help of this, it will be receiving the stimulus. So basically these are the main you can say main types of main parts of neuron which we can see. Now let us try to understand these parts in further detail. There is another important information before that, and this information is that your body, your human body, it is made up of trillions of cells. That means so many different types of organs they may be having these neurons. So many neurons are present in the human body, and if you can count them, it comes to be 10 raised to power 12. That means 1 followed by 12 zeros. And average human brain has about 86 billion neurons. So many neurons they are present in the brain. And as we have just studied that all the structure and function of nervous system is because of these neurons. So let us come back to the point, that is, what are different parts of neuron. Now as far as neuron is concerned, we can divide it into three main parts, that is cell body, dendrites and axon along with the nerve ending. Now what is cell body? Cell body is that part which is containing the cytoplasm. So it is the major part of the cell which is containing cytoplasm and a large nucleus in it, and it is having other organelles also. But one organelle which is important here is, that is Nissls granules. Nissls granules, they are the parts which are basically responsible for production of special kinds of proteins or neurotransmitters, which are used as chemicals for understanding the stimuli and for transmitting the stimuli and responses. So this star-shaped cell body, it is containing a special kind of organelle which is called as the Nissls granules. Besides this, it is having other cytoplasmic organelles too. And dendrites, they are the short fibers which are arising from the ends of the cyton. And axon, that is one of the long fiber which is arising from the cyton and which ends into nerve ending. Let us try to understand cell body in detail. As far as cell body is concerned, it is also called as soma or cyton. So sometimes you will find that these words, they are also named as cell body, soma or cyton. It is containing cytoplasm with a large nucleus. So this is the nucleus part which is present here, and it is having typical organelles like ribosomes. We know ribosomes, it has the function of producing proteins. Endoplasmic reticulum, it is the part to which ribosomes are attached. Microtubules, these are the tubules which help in transport of material from one place to another place, and it also provides the strength to the cell. And a large number of mitochondria. Mitochondria, they help in producing energy. Besides this, it also has Nissl granules which are free ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum. Now these additional ribosome endoplasmic reticulum which is present, that is called as the Nissls granule, and they are named so because they are chromatophilic substances. Chromatophilic substances means that they stain very well, they take the color well. When they are dyed, then they are very clearly visible, and they produce certain proteins which are used as neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters means those chemicals which are used in conduction of nerve impulses. And because it is having a nucleus and it is having other organelles, so its important and main function is that it is controlling all the functions of neuron. It is very important to note here that neuron or the cell body, it doesn't have centrioles, and we know that centrioles, they help in cell division. So because centrioles are not present, so it is understood that neuron, it is not able to divide. So these are those kinds of cells which are not capable of division. So they cannot reproduce, their number cannot increase. So you should remember, because sometimes you may be asked that why the neuron is not able to reproduce, because centriole is not present in this part. So then the next part we will study that the next part of neuron that we are going to study is dendrite. Now these dendrites, these are the thread-like structures which are arising from the ends of the cyton. The number of dendrites that may be present on one neuron may be from 5 to 7, and the size of the diameter of these dendrites, that is up to 2 micrometers. The shape of the dendrite is such that it is tapering towards the distal end. Distal end means the farther end. So if you can see here, then the shape of the dendrite is such like that it is as it moves further, it tapers down. And as far as the short fibers which branch repeatedly and project out of the cell body also contain Nissl granule. As we studied in the previous part, that the cell, that is the soma or the cyton as it is called, that contains a Nissl granule. So these Nissl granules, they are also present in the dendrites. It is important to note it here, because when we study further other parts, we will see that there is difference in presence of Nissl granule in other parts of the neuron. So we must remember that Nissl granule, they are present in the soma as well as in the dendrite. And we have understood the function of Nissl granule, that they help in producing neurotransmitters, because they are containing a lot many ribosomes in them, and the function of ribosomes is to make protein, they synthesize protein. And another function of these dendrites is that it helps in forming the connection with other neurons through synapse. Synapse means that part where the neuron, it forms a connection with the other neuron. So that part where the neuron forms a connection with other neuron, that is called as synapse. So those synapses, they are formed by the dendrites. The most important function of receiving and transmitting the impulses, it happens through these dendrites. And we must remember that these dendrites, they help in receiving the impulse, and then they help in transmitting it toward the cell body. Now here also there is an important point to be noted, that they transmit the impulse towards the cell body. So that means this flow of information is one way. That means information will be always going from dendrite to cell body. It will not be transmitted from cell body to dendrite. So the function of dendrite is that they will be transmitting the impulse towards the cell body. Now let us study the other part of the neuron, that is called as axon. Axon is that part which is forming a long thread-like structure. This thread-like structure which is present here, that is called as the axon. As compared to dendrite, where we saw that dendrites can be 5 to 7, but neuron, they are only one in one neuron. There is only one neuron present in each neural cell. Whereas as in case of dendrites, we saw that from the star-shaped body of the cyton, there may be many dendrites arising, right? There may be 5 to 7, but neuron is only one, and its diameter is also, it is comparatively thicker as compared to dendrite. In case of dendrite, what did we see? That it is about 2 microns, but in case of axon, it can be from 1 micrometer to 20 micrometers. So that means the thickness of this neuron, it may vary depending upon its location or depending upon the organism or the function, what it is doing. Depending upon that, the thickness of axon may vary. It can be as thick as 20 micrometers. So some of the axons, they are very long and very thick, and whereas some other may be very thin. Another difference is in the shape. In the case of dendrite, what did we see? That the shape of dendrite is tapering towards the end, whereas in this case, the axon, it is having almost same diameter at all places. So here you will see that it is a kind of cylindrical type of structure which is having almost same diameter throughout its length. Another interesting feature is about its length. The longest axon in the human body are those of the sciatic nerve, which run from base of the spinal cord to the big toe of each foot. So that is to give you information about the length, that some of the axons, they are very long, right. So sciatic nerve is the nerve which is containing the longest neuron, and probably this is the longest cell present in your body. For your general knowledge sake, you should remember that what is the longest cell present in the human body, that is the neuron. Axon arise from an axon hillock. Axon hillock is the area, it is a triangular or funnel shaped area from which the axon arises. Another characteristic feature is that it may be covered with the myelin. Some of the axons, they are covered by a lipoprotein which is insulating in nature, which is called as the myelin, and some of the neurons, they may not be myelinated. So some neurons, they are myelinated, they are covered by the lipoprotein layer, and some may not be myelinated. So you should remember, and further in the lesson we will study that where these myelinated neurons are present and where non-myelinated neurons are present. Axons split into many branches at the end to form axon terminal. So this part in which the neuron, it forms a branching, that is called as the axon terminal. And what is the function? Axon terminal, it forms connection with other neurons through synapses. So this is the part where it can get connected to other neurons. Synaptic knob, which possesses synaptic vesicle containing chemical called neurotransmitter. In the previous part we studied that soma, it is having Nistel's granule which is producing neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters, they are transferred to the synaptic knobs through microtubule, and in this synaptic knob there are small vesicles present which are containing neurotransmitters in them. So synaptic vesicles means the end, the bulbous end of the nerve end, that is called as the synaptic vesicle, synaptic knob, which is containing certain vesicles which are called as the synaptic vesicles. And what do these synaptic vesicles contain? They contain the chemicals which are produced in soma but stored in this part, that is the name of the chemical substances, they are called as the neurotransmitters. Let us study some of the functions. The function is, first function is, they take or transmit the nerve impulse away from the cell body to the synapse or to the neuromuscular junction, that may be muscles or may be gland, and they may be communicating information to the target cells. Let us try to understand this. They transmit nerve impulse away from the cell body. In the previous part we studied that dendrites, they transfer the information from dendrite to cell body, and axon, they take the information from the cell body to the synapse. Synapse means that part where the axon terminal, it is forming connection with some other neuron. So the flow of information will be from dendrite to cell body, and from cell body to axon, and from axon to axon terminal. And another function is that this nerve ending may be ending in a muscle, or it may be ending in the gland. So that means this nerve ending, it may be present in the gland, or it may be ending in the muscles. And third function is that it is communicating information to the target cell. Target cell means that muscle or that gland to which the information is to be transferred. So this is the function of axon, that it is moving, it is taking the information away from the cell body towards the muscle or the gland or the target cell. Let us talk about the next part of the neuron, that is the nerve ending. Nerve ending is that part which is present on the end of the axon. This part where the axon is ending into synaptic knobs. This part is called as the nerve ending. And nerve ending is the terminal branch carry impulse to the synaptic knob. So that axon which is ending into some gland or maybe some muscle or maybe some target organ, there it is ending into synaptic knob. Knob means the bulbous kind of thing which is present at the end. So this portion is called as the synaptic knob. Synaptic vesicles are present in the knob which contain neurotransmitters. So in the synaptic knobs there are certain organelles present, certain vesicles present, which are containing the chemicals which are called as neurotransmitters. Synaptic knob form a snap. Snap means the connection with the other neurons or with the other organ or maybe with the other nerve cell, other neuron or muscle or the gland cell. So this is the function of the synaptic knob. The important function of neuron is that it will be helping in receiving and transmitting the impulses. So this is how we can see that the neuron, it is having all the four parts, and all these four parts, they are having different but very well defined functions. So here we could see that the cell body, it is producing the neurotransmitters. Dendrites, they are also having certain organelles which are called the Nissl granules, they are also producing the neurotransmitters, and axons are the part where neurotransmitters, they are stored in the vesicles. And that means that from the cell body, the neurotransmitter, they are transferred to the synaptic knobs where they are stored. Now, as far as neurons are concerned, they are having very specialized functions that we have understood, that they help in understanding the different type of stimuli, and because they can perform all the functions of nervous system, they are called as the functional unit. Now how the neurons they get excited, how they receive the stimulus, that is because of the differential concentration gradient of ions across the membrane. The neurons, the plasma membrane with which they are formed, they are very sensitive to the concentration gradient of ions. We should remember that within the cell, the concentration of sodium ion is always less, and concentration outside the cell is always more, whereas potassium ion, they are always more inside the cell and less outside. So because of that, there is a difference in concentration of these ions across the plasma membrane. Neurons, they also have these plasma membranes. Neurons, their plasma membrane is very sensitive to this concentration gradient, and whenever the concentration of sodium and potassium ion fluctuates, because of that neurons, they get excited and they form the impulse. And this differential concentration gradient, that may be excited because there may be inflow of sodium ions or there may be outflow of potassium ions. Because of that, the neurons, they are excited. Neurons can be excited because of different reasons. That may be excited by the sound wave, as in case of inner ear, there the neurons are present which are excited by the sound waves. Similarly, skin is having certain neurons which can be excited by heat. Eye, it is having certain neurons which are excited by light. And similarly, muscles, they have certain neurons which are excited by pressure or length. So in other words, we can say that all of these, sound, heat, light and pressure, these are the stimuli which can excite the neuron. Because of this, the neuron, they form the stimulus, and this stimulus, it passes from one to other neuron and ultimately to brain or spinal cord, where it is interpreted and where the response is formed. Similarly, response also travels from brain and spinal cord to various target organs, where the response is, it is seen in the form of effect. There is important information and interesting information for you, This says that you may be having fewer cells when you grow up. Usually what happens, that when you grow up, what happens? The number of cells increase. But neurons are such cells which are not increasing as you grow. So it is previously, of course, it was assumed that neurons, they are not capable of dividing, because as I told you that they don't have centriole, because of that they cannot divide. So when the cell becomes old, then they die, but neurons are such cells which are not replaced when they die. So because of that, as you grow old, number of neurons become lesser and lesser. Of course, there is a new study which was conducted and data published in November 1998, which show that hippocampus, that is an area of the brain, their new neurons can grow in adult humans too. So a lot of study is going on. We are not understanding the brain, as we are not understood all. So as per this study, this part, that hippocampus, is the part of the brain where new neurons can grow, but otherwise generally the neurons, whatever you are born with, the number remains same, or it starts reducing with the old age. Another interesting information, that these are the longest cells. In the previous part of the lesson also we studied that these are the longest cells. Some neurons, such as primary efferent neuron, that extend from skin to the spinal cord and up to the brain stem, can be several feet long. We have taken one example also, that is sciatic nerve, which may be containing such neurons which may be running from lower part of your back to the tip of the foot toes. So they can be so long. In the next part of the lesson that we will be taking in the next class, we will be studying about different types of neuron on the basis of structure, on the basis of axon, and on the basis of function. And then we will also study that how these different structures, they are adapted for different functions. Till that time, keep studying. If there is any question which you want to ask, you are most welcome. You can drop a message in the message box. I will try my level best to answer. Thank you so much.